Am I audible? Please mention in the comments. Please mention in the chat if you can listen to me. Yeah, okay, done. Okay, welcome everyone. In today's class, we will be learning about percentages. This is one of the important topics and basic topics for aptitude. Also, so this is a topic, very common topic required for all aptitude exams, whether it is PGCET, CUET, or your placement exams. So let us start the class. So what is percentage? As you are all aware, percentages is for 100, right? Per is for every, cent means 100. For every 100, we will be calculating what is the value. That is percentage. That is how you calculate your percentages for your classes, right? Like whatever your grades you are getting, what marks you have scored upon whatever is the total, you will calculate percentage according to that. Say for example, if your score is 450 out of 500, this is the total score that you have got. So you will be calculating for 100 how much is the marks. Accordingly, you will get 90. So we say that the score is, the percentage is 90%. That means for every 100, your marks is 90. It does not mean in every paper you have got 90 marks. It means that you have got 90% in total. Overall, you have got 90%. That is the meaning of percentages. Now, how do we use it for calculating various problems? We will see. Now here, whenever a question is given, you are supposed to calculate for 100. And sometimes they will give you that there is a percentage change that is happening. And based on that, old value or new value will be given. And you will have to find out what is required. Here we will have successive percentages, successive discounts, profit and loss. All these types of questions are based on percentages. We have data interpretation topic in which percentages are most important in order to solve questions under data interpretation, which we will be learning in the upcoming classes. Now, you know what is percentage, what is the meaning of percentage. Now, let me tell you how to calculate this with the help of percentage factor. Suppose you have a question like this. Say, Mr. X gets a salary of, Mr. X gets a salary of rupees 20,000. He gets an increment. He gets an increment of 10%. What is his new salary? What is his new salary? Suppose this is a question given. What is the answer for this? Can you tell me what is his new salary? Mention in the comment section. What will be the answer? If he is getting 10% increment, what will be the new salary? Anyone? So basically, we calculate new salary based on previous salary, right? Yes, Madhu has replied that the answer is 22,000. Vandit, 22,000. Yes, very good. So the answer is 22,000. Correct. So basically, how did you calculate? You calculate the increment, right? Increment is 10%. 10% of 20,000 is 2,000 rupees. Now you can calculate Jyoti, not 44,000, it is 22,000 because we need to calculate 10% of 20,000. This is how we calculate it. Now, what is new salary? It is old salary plus increment, which is 20,000 plus 2,000, which gives you 22,000. This is the new salary of Mr. X. So the answer is correct. Madhu, Vandit, and yeah, only those two students have given the correct answers. Okay, so this is 20,000, 22,000. Now, suppose you have another question in which Mr. X gets an increment. Mr. X gets an increment of 20% and his new salary is rupees 30,000. What was his previous salary? Can you give me the answer of this question? Increment is 20% and new salary is 30,000. Please tell me what is the previous salary? Excuse me. Previous salary, Madhu, it is not 6,000. Can you please check? Okay, Soulful Mix has answered 24,000. Okay, any other answers? 29,400, no way. You mean 29,400, if that is a previous salary, then only 600 will be the increment, right? 600 is not 20%. 26,000, no. The answers, none of them have given the correct answer. Fine. So many of you might think the answer is 24,000 because you will be calculating increment, right? Increment, you are calculating 20% of 30,000, right? Which gives you 6,000. And then you are calculating old salary as new salary minus increment, isn't it? Which gives you 30,000 minus 6,000, which gives you 24,000, correct? This is how you people have calculated, but this is wrong because original salary, whatever we have, original salary, that is 100% of the salary. And increment is 20% of this, okay? And that gives you new salary, and new salary is actually 120% of the original salary. Is that clear? So the first one was correct. We calculate 10% of this and we add it to the old salary. The second one, this procedure is wrong. We cannot calculate percentage of new value. This is updated value. As for updated value, you cannot calculate this percentage. You should calculate this percentage for the old value. Always understand that clearly. Increment is not given based on new salary. Increment is always given based on the old salary. Here, how do you solve it? So here we solve it by considering old salary as X rupees. Okay. Old salary is going to be X rupees. Increment is given on this which is 20% of x, which gives you 0.2x. Now, what is new salary? It is old salary plus increment, which gives you 1.2x, and that is equal to 30,000. So basically, x is equal to 30,000 divided by 1.2, which gives you 25,000 rupees. Is that clear? Therefore, old salary is 25,000. Basically, you have to understand to which value we are adding that increment. Increment we are adding, and if there is a decrement, discount, loss. So there is an old salary which is 100%. With that, you are adding an increment which is 20%. That gives you 120%. So if 120% is 30,000, okay, if 120% is 30,000, what is 100%? That is what you are calculating, which is 30,000 is 120%, and you are calculating what is 100%. This gives you the answer 25,000 rupees. Everybody understood this? Now, this will be useful. This is explained in many websites and in many reference books, but we discuss a method called as percentage factor method, which you cannot find in any of the books, which is very useful when you have multiple discounts or multiple percentages. This is going to be extremely useful. So let us see how to find percentage factor. Please write down this percentage factor. We will be discussing about this percentage factor in many topics. We will be using this in many topics. So you have to understand whenever there is a percentage change given, how to apply it and get the required values. Now let us assume the old value, original value is x, and there is a percentage change applied to this. Say for example, I will take percentage change as 10%. Okay. So 10% increment. We are incrementing it by 10%. Maybe 10% profit, salary is getting increased by 10%, whatever. Okay. So 10% is the change applied. Now, for 10% change, what all calculations you will have to do? Original value is x. With this, we have to add it because there is an increase of 10%. 10% of x is added, which gives you x plus 10 by 100 is 0.1x. Now take x common, you will get 1 plus 0.1, which is equal to 1.1x. Hope this is clear. This is for 10% increment. The new value is 1.1x. Old value is x, 10% of it is added, we get 1.1x. Suppose there is a 20% increment. It means for original value x, we are adding 20% of x, which gives you 1 plus 0.2x, sorry, x plus 0.2x, which is 1 plus 0.2 into x, and that is 1.2x. Understood this? Now this is for 20% increment. Now I will write for 25% increment. So for 25% increment, I am not writing this. I will directly write here. It is x plus, which is equal to 1.25 into x, right? Which is 1 plus 0.25 into x, that gives you 1.25x. We are adding decimal equivalent of it, that is 10%. by 100 is 0.1, 20 by 100 is 0.2, and 25 by 100 is 0.25. So 1.1, 1.2, 1.25. So based on this, we can write if there is a third, then I am supposed to add 0.3 to 1, which gives you 1.3x. So percentage factor is 1.3. Hope this is clear. This is when there is an increment. Suppose there is a decrement. Then we will have to subtract this decimal part from 1. So 10% increment is there, right? Suppose we consider 10% decrement. It means from x, I am subtracting 10% of it, which gives you 1 minus 0.1 into x, which is 0.9x. Similarly, if there is a 20% decrement, then we are subtracting 0.2 from 1, which percent decrement, the percentage factor is 0.8. So whenever there is an increment, add the decimal part to 1. Whenever there is a decrement, subtract it from 1. And this number is going to be our percentage factor. So if there is a 25% decrement, the percentage factor is 0.75x. New value is 0.75x. Percentage factor is 0.75. Hope this is clear. Now, this is your percentage factor. As soon as you see a question where it is given that certain value is increased by 10%, decreased by 20%. Immediately you have to write the percentage factor. Increased by 10% means 1 percentage factor. After you write the percentage factor, then you need to decide whether you have to multiply it or divide it based on the given value. That is, if old value is given 10%, you want to divide it or multiply it. So that is for these questions, we get, just a second. Yeah. Is there any disturbance in the network? Just a second. I'll check. Am I audible now? Is the voice clear now? Right. Now subtraction we have done, right? So after subtraction, what I explained is, once you find out what is a percentage factor, okay, once you find out what is a percentage factor, you have to decide whether you need to multiply or divide. Okay. So when old value is given, you multiply percentage factor to get new value. When new value is given, divide it by percentage factor to get the old value. Okay. Now we will apply this concept to solve this question. Now here 20,000 is his salary. We are supposed to find new salary. So what is this 20,000? It is old value, right? We are supposed to find what is new value. What is given is the old value, and there is an increment of 10%. Increment of 10% means 1 plus 0.1, which is 1.1. Now old value is given, percentage factor is given. How to find new value? New value is equal to old value into percentage factor, which gives you 22,000. Is that clear? Here, 30,000 is given, which is new value. We are supposed to find old value. So old value or old salary is equal to new value divided by increment of 20% means 1 plus 0.2, which gives you 1.2. So divided by 1.2, you will get 25,000. Everyone understood this? So first, as soon as you see this increment of 20%, decrement of 10%, first write down the percentage factor. Then some value will be given here. That value you have to decide whether you have to divide it or multiply with percentage factor. Clear? Right. Now let us solve some questions based on this. We will solve some questions. These questions I'll be sharing with you. Join the WhatsApp group given in the description. I think right now description is not there. Once the video is, once the class is done, I'll be putting the description. Okay, in the description, I'll put the WhatsApp group. Please join the group in order to get all these practice questions. So let us solve this question. Okay, anyways, so there is some issue with copying it. Right. For tomorrow's class, I'll readily copy it and keep it. Okay, see here, we have a question which says 35 is subtracted from a number. It reduces to its 80%. Find 4/5 of that number. Okay. See here, this question, we have percentages given. Also, we can solve it by framing equations. Now we are supposed to find a number, 4/5 of a number. Let us assume the number is x. Okay, the number is x. From this x, we are subtracting 35. So we have x minus 35. And after subtracting 35, it reduces to its 80%. Means the number will be same as 80% of the original number, which is 0.8x. Now simplify this, you will get the answer. 0.8x comes to left hand side, it becomes minus 0.8x. And then here minus 35 comes to right hand side, it is plus 35. So 0.2x is equal to 35. X is equal to 35 by 0.2, which is equal to 175. So value of X is 175, but what have they asked? They have asked 4/5 of this number, right? So what is 4/5 of X? It is 4 by 5 into 175, which gives you 140. Understood? There is another way of solving this question. Whenever you see some easy numbers like this, make sure that you can solve it without writing all these equations. This is the actual procedure. Will work for any percentage and any value. But sometimes you can do it with much lesser simplification. What is that? Now, when I'm subtracting 35, the number is becoming 80% means what I have subtracted is 20%, isn't it? So if 20% of X is 35, I am supposed to find 4/5. What is 4/5 of a number? 4/5 of any number is same as 80%. We will see how we can get that. 80% of X is 20%, 4 times gives you 80%. So 35 into 4 gives you 140. Understood? See, you have a number and that is divided into 5 parts, 5 equal parts. Okay. And this is 20%, 35. This is 20%. After subtracting 20%, you are left with 80%, right? And if 20% is 35, then each of these is also 35. So what is 4/5 of the number? It's nothing but 140. So if you can solve it this way, then you can save a lot of time. Here, we will convert fractions and percentages interchangeably, and we will see that in the next class, how to convert percentage to fractions and fractions to percentages. So 4/5 is nothing but 80%. So if you understand that, and if you know 20% is 35, 80% is just 4 times of that. So you can get what is the value of that, because we don't have to find out what is the original number. That is not necessary. They've asked us to find only 4/5 of the number, which is 140. Now we will solve the next question. I'll try to copy it again. See, here we have value of a machine depreciates. So depreciating means you know it is reducing. Yeah. So value of a machine depreciates at the rate of 10% per annum. If the cost of the machine at present is 1,60,000, what will be the worth after 2 years? Now see, present value they have given. You are supposed to find value after 2 years. So basically, you are finding a future value, right? So this is the new value that you are supposed to find. And this value is an old value. And the rate is depreciating, means reducing at the rate of 10%. What is the cost of the machine after 2 years? Now, this is depreciating at the rate of 10% means reducing at the rate of 10%. So what is percentage factor? We subtract 10% from 1, which is equal to 0.9. Now, after we know percentage factor, now this is the new value is what we are supposed to find. Old value is given. So what is new value? That is value after 2 years. It is old value into percentage factor 2 times. Why are we multiplying 2 times? Because 10% it is reducing per annum. Okay, 10% it reduces per annum. Therefore, for 2 years, 2 times 10% will reduce, which is 0.92 times. So this is one of the note that you have to know. If same percentage change is applied multiple times, then multiply it with that many number of years. Percentage factor power n means this percentage factor is applied n times. Okay, so this percentage change is applied n times. Now here, the rate of that machine is reduced by 10% twice. So we have to multiply it twice. And the value given is a old value. Therefore, we are multiplying it. Suppose new value is given, we will divide it. Okay. Now, to find 0.9 into 0.9, how do you multiply this? This is 1,60,000 into 0.81. So 0.81 refers to 81%. 0.81 refers to 81%. Now, how do you calculate 81%? To calculate 81%, from 100% you subtract 20% and then add 1%. This is how calculations will be done for percentages, because you will not be allowed to use calculators in your aptitude exam. Whatever aptitude exam you are taking, whether it is PGCET, CUET, or you take any placement aptitude, or if it is say you have CAT exam, MAT exams, in all these things, they do not allow the use of calculators. So you should know how to do such quick calculations. So multiplying by 0.81, instead of that, find out what is 81% of 1,60,000. Now, what is 100%? 1,60,000, right? What is 20% of this? 10% is 16,000, 20% is double of that, which is 32,000. And add 1%, which is 1,600. Now, once you know this, 1,60,000 minus 32 is 28,000 plus 1,600 is 1,29,600. Understood? So here we are fine. This is the value after 2 years. Now, suppose old value is given. Okay, here old value is given. You are supposed to find new value. You can directly subtract it. That is, from 1,60,000, you are subtracting 10%. What is 10% of this? 16,000. That gives you 1,44,000. This is after 1 year, right? After first year. After first year, value of machine is 1,44,000. Now, second year also 10% it will reduce. So it is 10% of this, which is 14,400, which gives you 1,29,600. This is after second year. This is much easier because of two reasons. One is percentage is very easy. 10% is very easy to calculate. Just remove the last zero, or if you have a non-zero number, just put a decimal point here. That is 10%. And it is only for 2 years. And original value is given. If original value is given, 2 times you can subtract like this. Suppose instead of original value, if they have given later value, that is value after 2 years, and you are supposed to find the present value, then you won't be able to solve it this way. You have to use this percentage factor method and try to solve it using this way. Suppose it is 8% 2 years, then both the years 8%, it reduces by 8% or reduces by 20%. If it reduces by 20%, then percentage factor is 0.8 and it reduces 2 years. Therefore, you will write 0.8 into 0.8, which is 0.64. Now, to find this, it is nothing but 64%. To find 64%, what you can do is take 50%, which is half of the given value, plus 10% is except the last zero. You can take the remaining number from the given value, and this gives you 60%, and take 4 times of this. that is 4%. This way, when you are doing addition is faster than multiplication. Chances of doing mistakes are also less. So try to solve whenever you have percentages to be calculated, try to solve it this way. Now this is finding the value of a machine when old value is given. We'll see the next question. Hope it is clear. If you have any doubts, if you have any clarifications, please let me know in the chat section. See there, we have certain value and there is a percentage change that was applied 2 times and same percentage change was applied, right? Every time change, same percentage change was applied. So we multiplied it twice. Here, we have certain values. We have certain trees in a field and it is increasing by 10% in the first year. For increasing by 10%, what is the percentage factor? Second year increasing by 8%. Third year it is decreasing by 10%. What is the percentage factor for each of them? Increasing by 10% means 1 plus 0.1, which gives you 1.1. Increasing by 8% means 1 plus, don't take 0.8. 0.8 is 80% increase. It is 8%, right? So take 0.08, which is 1.08. And decreasing by 10% is 1 minus 0.1, which is 0.9. Now I have found 3 percentage factors: 1.1, which is first year's change, 1.08, which is second year's change, 0.9, which is third year's change. And number of trees is 26730 at present. You need to find number of trees in the beginning. This is present value. You have to find the previous value. So the value given is a new value, right? So what is the number of trees in the beginning? It is nothing but the old value. Number of trees in the beginning is number of trees at present. We divide this by percentage factor: 1.1, 1.08, and 0.9. So that is what we have discussed earlier. When new value is given, divided by percentage factor to get the old value. Okay. So new value is present number of trees. We divided by all 3 percentage factors because there are 3 changes applied and to get the old value. Now how to divide this without calculators? Whenever, we'll see how to divide this, just write down now. Whenever you have fractions like this where you have decimal numbers, we will first remove the decimal point. To remove decimal point, we will write one, we will multiply a balancing factor. We'll see how to write that. Before that, I will just directly solve it and then I'll tell you. So here we will write 11 into 108 into 9 and balancing factor is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 zeros here. Now we divide this. You know the divisibility rules, I assume. If you don't know, we will be conducting detailed divisibility rules class later. Now this is 2 plus 6, 8 plus 10 is 18. If the total is divisible by 9, or if it is divisible by, if the total is 9 or a multiple of 9, then you can divide it by 9. So I'll divide this by 9. You will get 9, 2s are 18, remainder is 6, 67, 7s are 63, and then you will get a remainder of 6, right? 67, 7s are 63. You will get 4, 43 you will get, no? I'm sorry. 9 2s are 18. You'll get 8, 87. 9s are 81. You will get 63, which is 7s are 63 and then 0. 2970. This is further divisible by 9. I will divide by 9. 9 12s are 108. 9 3s are 27. You will get another 2 remainder 27, which is 330. Now this is divisible by 11. 11 3s are 33 and there is a 0. Now 12 2.5s are 30. So 2.5 into 10,000 gives you 25,000. So the answer is 25,000. If you don't use percentage factor here, this solution is going to be like a half-page solution. Okay, so for every percentage change, just write percentage factors. Then one of the values will definitely be given. Just find out whether it is new value or old value so that you can decide whether you have to multiply percentage factor or divide percentage factor. Is that clear? Now we will see how to divide, how to simplify this kind of fractions. So if you have a fraction in which you have decimal number only in one of the sides, either in the numerator or in the denominator. Example, if you have 121 divided by 1.1, okay, 121 divided by 1.1. Here we have a decimal number only in the denominator. I'll take 1.10. Okay, only in the denominator. Here, how many digits do we have after decimal point? 2 digits. So we rewrite this fraction without decimal numbers. 121 by 110. And now we need to write a balancing factor. Here we have decimal number in the denominator, right? To balance this, we will write it in the numerator. In the numerator, I will write 1 followed by how many zeros are there here? How many digits are there here? That many zeros. I have 2 digits in the denominator. So in the numerator, I will write 2 zeros. Is that clear? Now we cancel this. 0 gets cancelled. 11 11s are 121. And the answer is 110. Now let me take another example. And I want you to answer this. Suppose I have 132 into 125 divided by 1.2 into 0.25. If I have this number, now rewrite this fraction without any decimal numbers. So it's going to be 132 into 125 divided by 12 into 25. Now, decimal numbers are there only in the denominator, right? So I have to write the balancing factor in the opposite side, numerator. 1 followed by how many zeros? Count the total digits here in the denominator after decimal point. We have 1, 2, 3. 3 digits are there. So write 3 zeros. Is that clear? Now we can cancel it. 25 5s are 125. 12 11s are 132. So 11 into 5 is 55 into this 3 zeros you will get. Is that clear, everybody? Can you give me answer for this one? 144 into 36 divided by 1.2 into 1.8. Give me answer for this. Rewrite it without decimal points. Count number of digits after decimal point in the denominator. In the numerator, you multiply with balancing factor, which is 1 followed by number of zeros is same as what is there here, the total number of digits after decimal point in the denominator. Please don't use calculators. Okay, I'm getting answers. Madhu has given answer. How about others? Different answers we are getting here. Vandit and Soulful Mix, I don't know what is the name, have given answers as 2400. Rakshita also gave 2400. Okay, Madhu also now has given 2400 as an answer. Others? So we rewrite this 144 into 36 divided by 12 into 18. Now, decimal point is there in the denominator. So numerator, I will write the balancing factor 1 and 2. So 2 zeros I should write here. 12, 12s are 144. 18 twos are 36. 12 into 2 is 24. So you get 2400 as the answer. Yes, all of you have got the correct answers. Very good. Now this is if you have decimal number only in the denominator. Now let us see if it is the opposite way. You know, if you have decimal number only in the numerator and in denominator, you don't have any such numbers. So if you have 1.32 into 12.5 divided by 11 into 15. Okay. So here we have decimal number only in the numerator. Same way as before, rewrite it without decimal numbers. 132 into 125 divided by 11 into 15. Now, decimal numbers are there in the numerator, right? So balancing factor is written in the denominator into 1 followed by count number of digits after decimal point in the numerator. We have 1, 2, 3. So write 3 zeros here. Okay. Now you simplify. 11 12s are, and then 3 4s are, and 3 5s are 15. Now 5 into 25 is 125. 4 into 25 is 100. So 100 and 1000 we have here. You will get 1 by 10, which is equal to 0.1. Now answer this. 6.25 into 14.4 divided by 0.4 into 2.5. I will write only decimal number in the numerator. 4 into 25. What is the answer for this? What answer do you get? So rewrite the number without any decimal point. So you get 625 into 144 divided by 4 into 25. Here decimal number is there only in the numerator. So we write the balancing factor in the denominator. 1, 2, 3. 3 digits are there after decimal point. So we write 3 zeros here after 1. Now we simplify this. 25, 25s are 625, and from 4 if I cancel, 4 3s are 12 and 24, which is 36. Now 25 4s are 36, 4s are 100, and then you get 40. 4 9s are 4 10s. 9 by 10, which is nothing but 0.9. Hope it is clear. Yes, correct. 0.9. Vandit got the answer correctly. Now, these are examples where we have decimal point in only one side of the fraction, only in the numerator or only in the denominator. If we have decimal numbers in both the sides of the fraction, this number only I will rewrite it 6.25 into 14.4 divided by 0.4 into 2.5. Now, both numerator as well as denominator has decimal numbers. Now, rewrite it without any decimal point. 625 into 144 divided by 4 into 25. Now, count the number of decimal digits in the numerator and in the denominator separately. Here I have 1, 2, 3, right? 3 digits are there here. And here I have 1 and 2, 2 digits are there. Now, whichever side has less number of digits are lesser in the denominator, difference between these two, which is only 1, 0. Now you can get the answer. So basically this number is 25, 25 is 4, 36 times. And then here I will cancel this by 5, 5 twos are 5 fives are. And 2 18s are, you will get 5 into 18, 90. Is that clear? So this is when you have decimal point in both numerator as well as denominator. You will cancel like this. Same thing is done here. I have written this number without decimal point. 26,730 divided by 11 into 108 into 9. Then decimal numbers are there only in the denominator. So I'm writing the balancing factor in the numerator. How many digits are there here after decimal point? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have written 4 zeros. Which one you want me to do it one more time? This last example, where decimal number is there both in numerator and denominator. Can you please be specific which one you want? Last one, yeah. So we'll take one more example of this type. See, you have to rewrite without any decimal point. Now, count the number of digits in the numerator and in the denominator. Balancing factor is written where less decimal digits are there. Where less digits are there. Okay. Less decimal digits are there in the denominator, right? So here I will multiply. And how many zeros you should multiply? Difference between this and this. Here I have 3 zeros, here I have 2 zeros. Difference is 1. So write 1 0 here. Okay. I'll give one more example. There we have 1.1 into 1.08 into 0.9, right? Numerator, I will write 12.1 into 0.36 into 63. Okay. I will write 3.6 here. Now here, I will rewrite this number without decimal points. This is 121 into 36 into 63 divided by 11 into 108 into 9. Now count the number of decimal digits in the numerator and in the denominator separately. Here I have 1 and 2. Only 2 digits are there after decimal point in the numerator. In the denominator, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 digits are there. Okay. 2 digits in the numerator, 4 digits in the denominator after decimal point. Where should I write the balancing factor? Wherever less digits are there. Less digits are there in the numerator. So I will multiply here. How many zeros I should multiply? Difference between these two, which is 2 zeros. 2 and 4 is there. Difference between that is 2. Now we cancel this. 9 sevens are 63. 12 nines are 108. And 12 threes are 36. Directly you can get 36 threes are 108. 11 11s are 121. So basically you will get 7700 by 3. You can simplify that and write. Hope it is clear now. This is, you have to practice this way of cancellation, because entire percentage profit and loss chapter, we will be having values like this, because we will be writing percentage factors, which will definitely have decimal numbers. You should know how to simplify fractions with decimal numbers. Am I audible? Am I audible, everybody? Okay, right. We will solve 2 more questions and we will end the session for today. We will be discussing remaining topics tomorrow. Please make sure that you are practicing all the questions shared today in your WhatsApp group. If you are not yet joined WhatsApp group, please go through the description of this video after the class. You will find a link for the WhatsApp group. Please join the WhatsApp group. So we have a question here. A manufacturer sells a pair of shoes to a wholesale dealer at a profit of 20%. Immediately you should write percentage factor here. Profit means percentage increase, right? There is a change in percentage, and profit is always increase and loss or discount is decrease. So profit of 20%, percentage factor is 1.2. Okay. Next, wholesaler sells them to a retailer at a profit of 25%, and this is 1.25. Okay. Next, shoes are again sold to the customer for this cost, thereby earning profit of 30%. So this is going to be 1.3. Now there are 3 percentage changes, which is 1.2, 1.25 and 1.3. Now what is this amount given? This is the cost that the final customer is paying. So this is the new value, final value. You are supposed to find cost price of the manufacturer, means the original value you are supposed to find, which is the old value. So we will find cost price of the manufacturer. This is new value given. You know, new value should be divided by percentage factor. New value is 50.50. All these 3 percentage factors we will divide. 1.2, 1.25 and 1.3. Okay. Now you know how to write this. Rewrite all this entire fraction without any decimal number. You will get 50/50 divided by 12 into 125 into 13. And we need to write the balancing factor. count the number of decimal digits. Here I have 2 digits in the numerator. In the denominator, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 digits. So where you have less number of digits, there you need to multiply. What is the difference between the decimal digits? That you have to take. That many zeros you have to take here. Now we will cancel this. 25 fives are. This is 25. 2 times is 50. 0, 2 gives you this. And now I'll divide this by 5. 5 20s are 100. 4, this I'll cancel by 4. 4 3s are, this is 4 5s are. So you get 1010 divided by 3 into 13 is 39. Now this one we'll see how to divide. Whenever we have like this, denominator, you can approximate it to the nearest number only by 1. If 38 is there, don't approximate it to 40. It becomes difficult to find out what is the correct answer. So if it is 39 or 41, approximate it to 40. Okay. If it's 38, don't approximate to 40. Now, assuming that the number is 40, I'm going to divide 0. From 4, I will divide 4 25s are 100. I will have 1 as a reminder, which is another 0.25. So 25.25 I will get if I divide by 40. If I divide by 39, which is a lesser number, then answer will be slightly greater than this. So the answer is 25.89. Because dividing by 39 is difficult. Okay. Always, whenever you have such divisions, approximate it to the next number or the previous number only. Don't approximate it too much. So here to approximate 39, I have approximated to 40. And dividing by 4 is easier. So I have divided by 4. Always, I have increased the value here. Original value is lesser. The value that I have assumed is more. And if I take 40, I will get 25.25. If I actually divide by a number lesser than this, answer will be greater than what I have got. So take the answer which is slightly greater than this one. And the answer is going to be 25.89. We'll see many more approximation techniques. We will see many shortcuts in the upcoming classes. Make sure you go through all these questions. Any question, if you have not understood, please play the video again and you can learn it. If you are not able to attend between this 2 to 3 timings, then this video is live available later also. Advantage of attending live is you can interact also with me through chat. If you are not able to attend it during live class, you can also watch it later. Make sure you don't pile it up. Watch every day's video on the same day and practice the questions, related questions given in the description every day. And any doubts, if you have, you can get it clarified in the WhatsApp group also. And in this YouTube classes, we'll be covering 60% of the syllabus for the upcoming PGCET exam. So if you are a PGCET student only, if you are an aptitude student, then no need to go for paid classes because we will be continuing these classes. If you are a PGCET student aiming for MBA or MCA PGCET, then you can join our paid classes, which will be conducted during evenings on alternate days, 1 to 1.5 hours. For 2.5 months, we are going to conduct. So you can contact us for details of it. Along with these live classes, you should also be attending those paid classes in order to get all the notes and previous year's question papers, everything. Okay. Fine. See you all in tomorrow's class. Tomorrow we'll be covering more questions with more shortcuts. Make sure you're joining it much before. See you in tomorrow's class. Bye-bye.